Bricia, it's really nice to virtually meet you. How are you doing?
Oh, great to meet you too. I'm doing wonderful. I have a pocket full of chocolate and mole for to share with the world, and a
Well,
hat
I
full
mean,
of dreams, just like Wonka.
I wish I could taste that because mole, obviously, one of these staples in Oaxacan cuisine. I live in the Central Valley where we have a really, really advanced Oaxacan population.
A lot
So
of
a lot
paisanos in Central Valley of Oaxaca. We do all the hard work out there for the rest of California.
You're absolutely right. Getting all those fresh ingredients. You know about that because you have a restaurant in Southern California. I'm very excited to talk to you today because of the fact that chocolate a lot of times is associated with like European and
Oh
Switzerland
yes.
and it's like this kind of other thing, but when in fact it's so prevalent in Central American, Mexican, Hispanic, Latino cuisine. Tell us a little bit about that.
I love that you're saying that. Yes. The reason I love being involved in this movie and talking all about it is because I want to make sure that people know and understand that Mesoamerican culture, Aztecs, Zapotecs, Mayans gave chocolate to the world. That really is where chocolate comes from. And I think a lot of people forget about that, especially because, again, like you say, they think the best chocolate comes from here and from here. But I think for me, when I think of chocolate, my mind automatically goes to Oaxacan chocolate and me thinking, I don't think it's a competition, but I think that it really is the best of the world. If you ask me, unbiased opinion of Oaxacan chocolate, but also such an integral part of our everyday cooking life, like our mole, and also the privilege and the responsibility that we have to the world to really make sure that we put out Mexican food to use the best of the best. And I think that's one of the things that I really, really felt connected to the character, his ability and his passion when he spoke about his ingredients for his food, for the chocolate that he would make. It was my favorite part of the whole movie. Just hearing his passion, hearing really him taking the extra step to go and get this ingredient and that ingredient and that ingredient and providing new flavors to people for the first time. He gave chocolate to a lot of people for the first time in the movie. So I think that it really is beautiful, but I also think it's really important to also remember that that is our culture. That is who we are as Latinos.
And what's been your experience in introducing mole and introducing chocolate into some of these more savory profiles that people aren't necessarily associated with, but we are? I know that
Yeah.
we always have a lot of pride in our family with my dad, especially when he's making his mole, where he's making his red enchilada sauce, and all of a sudden there's chocolate. And I remember some of the first times thinking like, what was he doing? But then, of course, growing up with it, it becomes normal. Kind of like Wonka. What has that been for you, your restaurant, your locations, introducing people to that side of chocolate?
Yeah, it really is such a privilege. I think that in a lot of ways, my family's restaurant is shaping the Oaxacan palate of LA. And I love that. We've been around for a very, very long time and a couple of generations. And when I speak to young Oaxaqueños, I can't help but think, oh my gosh, we were responsible to make sure that you knew the best Oaxacan food. And I take my job very, very serious. I want to make sure that this generation, the next generation, understands the power of food, that understands the power of their culture, and understands the power of learning what things are supposed to taste like. I think that's one of the things my dad taught me. He said the best thing you can have, the best skill you can have is understanding what great food is, because then no one can lie to you about anything. And I think it's so true. And that really is what I like to do here at the restaurant. And I think, again, what this character in this movie is about. And I also love his spirit of the character in the movie, his spirit of just dreaming and knowing that anything could be possible, that all you need is a dream. And I think at the end of the day, that really is what an immigrant is, an immigrant dream is. When you come into a new city and, trying to hustle, this is what he was trying to do, and with food. And I think that really is the first place we go to as Latinos when we come into this country is, what can I sell? Well, let's sell food because that's all I can do.
That's exactly what happened with my family. We had the Mexicali Rose in Alameda, California, and in Oakland. One of my first baby pictures when I was born is at a restaurant where my dad and his
Yeah.
family worked. Just talk a little bit about that connectivity, because you talked about it right now, about the power of food and being able to connect with others. and maybe even, you know, change the minds of some, open the minds of some, because you taste something that's so delicious that it kind of sparks more interest in that culture, in those people, and could really, you know, with not really exaggerating, really open up doors into other avenues and acceptance
Of
and
course.
integration.
Yeah, I think that the way that you change the perception of a culture is the perception of its food. I think that when people are able to are happy to pay premium for our food is the day that really we've changed the culture. Because we're accepted in a different level, right? We're accepted into their heart and their souls. And I really do think Mexican food is some of the best in the world and can compete with any other cuisine in the world. And I mean, come on, we gave chocolate to the world, people. What do you think? We're going to be serving you nothing but greatness.
Chocolate in a variety of ways too. You can have it in mole. You can have it in your hot chocolate. You can have it
Yes.
just as chocolate in so many ways. Bricia, thank you so much for your time, spending a few
You're so
minutes with me
welcome.
to talk about chocolate and
Of course.
Mexican food. I think it's
Don't forget to
lunchtime.
watch the movie though, December 15th, out in theaters. It's a great movie. Trust me.
Absolutely. And then probably head over to your local Mexican restaurant and
Yes.
enjoy some mole. Thank you again. Nice to meet you. And
Nice to meet
I'll
you.
talk to you again.